This is the 2026 Toyota Grand Highlander Platinum Hybrid Max, and it is worth your consideration. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Yoakum Toyota for today's video. Check out the link in the description of the video if you want to know more. When you look at the front end, you know it's a Toyota, number one, by the Toyota crown right here. Now this area is not really an upper grille. It kind of looks like it, but it actually is not active. It's just cosmetic. But you do have the nice large lower area right here. You don't need anything more than that because that takes up so much air right here. That's going to take care of everything you need. We're going to have our forward-facing camera right here. As we look at our lighting elements over there, everything is going to be LED. You have the projector beam style LED headlights, low and high beams, LED daytime running lights, and we're going to have the LED fog lights located down there on the lower portion of the front end that I know a lot of you are looking for. Now, we're going to work our way around here to try and keep the shadows out of the video as much as possible. We're going to have our fender surround right here with the matte black finish. It is a plastic finish, by the way, as opposed to the body color. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like the body color or do you like this style a little bit more? And obviously that works its way all the way around. You're going to have your mud guards right here and 20-inch wheels with a couple of different finishes combining together to make a really nice looking wheel. As we work our way up to the side view mirrors, body color on your mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in, and everything else you want is here. They're heated, power adjustable, power folding. We also have blind spot monitoring built in to the glass right there. We'll show that to you real quick so you can see what's going on where that is concerned. And here is your remote. You're going to have lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate, which is hands-free, by the way, and you're going to have your panic button down there. There's also a mechanical key located inside of this remote, or key fob as people call it. That way, if the battery dies on the key fob or the vehicle itself, you can still get in and out with the lock on the other side, on the driver's side door handle. Body color again with your door handles, just like with the mirror caps. And something that I like here is that you have your roof rails with the crossbars already installed. You don't have to buy that as an extra price or anything like that you're going to spend extra money on. So you've got that extra cargo space up there. Very easy to deal with. We're going to have the nice large windows all the way around, make it very easy to see out of, but you also have cameras all the way around that make it easy to see as well. We're going to have our LED tail lights back here. We're going to have the Grand Highlander logo in gloss black that matches against the finish right here. Do you think that should be a different color? I'm always curious to know what you think about that. Rear roof spoiler right here will finish things off. We do have our exposed rear window wiper. And obviously, this being a hybrid model, you might think that you wouldn't have the exposed exhaust outlets, but you know what? That's not true. They're here. We have dual exhaust. That works really well. Hybrid Max badging will also be here on the left-hand side. Over on the right-hand side, the Platinum logo, which is going to be your trim level. Under the hood is the turbocharged 2.4-liter hybrid powertrain. It makes 362 horsepower, 400 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60, a little over 5.5 seconds. Top speed is a limited 115 miles per hour. Now, being that this is a hybrid model, what are we looking at with MPGs? We're looking at 26 city, 27 highway, 27 combined, and 3.7 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And let's talk about our gas tank details. One important detail to note is that you have to push that button you just saw to open your gas door right here to gain access to your gas cap, so you can take that off and fill up your 17.2 gallon gas tank. On a full tank of gas, your city range is about 447 miles. Out on the highway, that range goes to 464 miles. And obviously, there's no guarantees. You may be above, you may be below those numbers, and it may change from one day to the next, depending on how you drive and where you drive. Your towing capacity comes in at 5,000 pounds. And you know there's a button on the remote to open this tailgate. There's a button on the interior. There's also a button right under here, or you can just take the easiest way and just kick your foot under the bumper just like that to gain access to your cargo space. And what are we talking about with cargo space? Behind the third row, 20.6 cubic feet. If we lower the second row down, 59.7. If you lower the mid row down and everything is folded flat, maximum is 97.5 cubic feet worth of cargo space. Now we're going to have our cargo organizer right here. That's going to be nice and handy for you, which obviously you can remove that and the cargo net if you need to maximize your space right here. Ultimately, that's about it. There are a couple of buttons right up here. If you want to close the tailgate and lock the interior, you hit that button, or if you just want to close the tailgate itself, you push that button right there. And how about connectivity? You do have a 120 volt power outlet back here, but that's about it. There is cargo area lighting, by the way, which is located right up here in this area. I don't have a way to show this to you in the dark, but I'm curious for you owners out there to tell us down in the comments section, how good of a job does that do of illuminating this area? Let's talk about what your passengers are going to find. And we'll start with our door panel right here. Nice and large, got that padding on the armrest right there that's going to make it nice and comfortable. And then below that, we're going to have the large door bin, plenty of room there for storage. And as we work our way up, you can see the shade, the privacy shade that is there on the window. That is manually going to be put in place and taken back out of place. Just so you know, we'll show you real quick how that works. Pretty easy to figure out. As we work our way inside, we're going to have our panoramic sunroof with the power shade that can be drawn back and forth from the driver's area with that upper console up there. And then this front portion will open. Now, let's talk about these seats, because it's a little interesting to lower them flat. So here's what's going to happen. Number one, we're going to pull on the release and bring this forward like this. By the way, you can move these seats back and forth. Then there's a lever on the very front of the seat, two levers. The second lever is the one that allows you to fold this flat, and that way you can go ahead and get everything up and out of the way. And then when it comes to gaining access to the third row, we're going to put the seats back up just like this. There's a lever on top of the seat that you pull on. That gets the seat up and out of the way. Go ahead and hop on back here, show you what's going on. Pull that seat back. Now that's not all the way back, obviously. There is the potential for a lot of leg room back here, depending on where the second row passengers want things to be set, but ultimately the seat's going to come back to about right here. So it can be rather tight, or it can be improved. And one thing that also helps with headspace is the fact that these seat backs recline right here. You can see that mine's back just a little bit. That's going to help out as far as that goes. And then we're going to have our air conditioning vents up here in my favorite location. Instead of being down low, that's going to be closer to the passengers. And then we're going to also have our cup holders right here. And right up here is where the USB port is located. Obviously, we're going to have that on the passenger side over there and also here on the driver's side. And to make things easy to get out of here, all you have to do is pull on the lever on the back of the seat right there, or could use the one on the top, but that one's a little more convenient. Let's talk about what the middle row passengers are going to find. Now here's the armrest, just about long enough. I do wish my wrists were not hanging off if I had my arm far forward, but not too bad. They are very comfortable with a lot of padding built in. And you've got this center console area right here with a little bit of space on each side, a couple of cup holders, and even some space in the rear. So some additional space as far as that goes. Rear seat pockets for your passengers on each seat. And then we have the command center for our USB ports. We're going to have USB ports on each side. We've got another 120 volt power outlet right there. And here's something that I know a lot of you are going to like. Not only heated seats for the middle seat passengers, but also ventilated. You can control everything with the air conditioning right here. The sticker price on this model at Yoakum Toyota is $64,368. Let's see what else you get for that price. I mentioned the upper console earlier. Here it is. You're going to have your sunglass holder right here if you want to take advantage of that. You can also turn your lights on and off right here, as you can see. This is the control for that power shade I told you about earlier. This is the control for actually opening and closing the sunroof. I think you know what else everything else is here as far as that goes. Now, we're going to find our digital rear view mirror. If you want to take advantage of that, you've got a few different options here depending on what you need to do as far as different settings go. We can do that, and we can exit out of that. There are quite a few things, as you can see. So if you want to change that, you can, or you can just leave it like this as a regular rear view mirror if that happens to be your preference. And we'll work our way down. Over here on the passenger side, you're going to find a nice amount of space above the glove box. That's not something we always see. A USB port over there, that's going to be nice and helpful. And then the traditional glove boxes down here, typical amount of space. Now, the passenger side door panel offers quite a bit of space, a little bit larger armrest, and that means obviously a little bit larger door bend. Depending on what you need to do, you're going to have quite a bit of space there. Power seats for the driver and the passenger, both will have lumbar support. Now, we're going to come over here to the driver's side. Seat memory only on the driver's side. At this price point, even though I know this isn't as high as you can obviously get with vehicles, at $64,000 plus, you should have seat memory on the passenger side and the driver's side. And right here, we're gonna have our controls for the side view mirrors. You can hit the button right here and you can take advantage of the power folding side view mirrors. And we will also have one touch down, one touch up at all 4 windows. A very nice, convenient feature. Now, you've got your auto high beam button right here. You can see that we also have the heated steering wheel. See what else is going on here. There's that button I was telling you about earlier to open and close your power tailgate. And you have the manual release right here to adjust your tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Everything for cruise control and all of your other steering wheel mounted controls will be here. And depending on what you need to do, we can go through quite a few different things, including all of our different settings. You do see the HUD settings right there. We do have a head-up display. I don't know how well you can see that, but there it is. And all I'm doing is using the arrows right here to go in and out. If I want to turn something on or off or select something, I hit right here in the middle, hit OK. No big deal where that's concerned. And then we just go back through and do all of that until we're ready to come out of that screen. And then we just keep working our way through depending on what we need to see or do. Shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel if you need to take advantage of those. And on the steering column, we find our front and rear window wiper controls right here on the right. On the left, everything for your headlights. You can set that to auto. You can turn your fog lights on and off. You can also use your turn signal indicators. And some of you are saying, what is that? I have a video that teaches you how to use your turn signals if you're not aware. Now, before we move on, I'm going to show you one thing real quick. Here's your drive mode selector. You've got the ability to toggle back and forth or push these buttons right here depending on what you need to do. And here are your driving modes. We got mud and sand. You'll also have rock and dirt. And then hitting those buttons down there will also bring up some changes to the driver's display. We can go to sport right here depending on what we need to do. We also have eco mode, which was that button I just pushed on the left hand side. So you can see how that all works. Now we go to the center screen. Pretty simple to use. I like that it's somewhat minimalistic. You don't have a lot going on here. You can come in here to climate depending on what you need to do, front and rear. You see your settings right there. You still have physical controls, which is good news. It's not just in the screen. I don't like having controls like that are in the screen only. And here is your trip and vehicle information depending on what you need to know. You've got history, you've got current, all of that is here. It just depends on what you're needing to see. And energy flow will also be here, a neat little graphic as far as that goes. And then we come back out, vehicle alert, not likely to be anything there for us to look at, but there you go. You will find your settings right here, depending on what you need to do where that is concerned. We can run through some of these real quick. Bluetooth, general, whatever we need to do, we can come right in here and take advantage of everything. Like I said, there's not a lot here. That's kind of nice to have that there isn't so much going on that you have to go through a bunch of sub-menus. Obviously, you have your navigation. I won't be able to show that to you right now, but you can see that it is indeed here. We also have everything for what we want to listen to with music. Everything with our phone will be here. You can connect your phone and take advantage of that. And as we work our way down, I'm going to show you something and we'll go back to the screen. Right down here is the button to bring up your cameras. You don't have to go into reverse to do that. So we're going to go back to the screen and I'm going to push that button and show you what we have. Now here's your hoodless view where you can see all around the vehicle. That's nice to have depending on what your personal preferences are, what you need to see as far as that goes. We come back into this area right here. Now if you want to see it this way, you can do the same thing here. You can hit the pause button right there. Just depends on what it is you want to see. We can do the same thing right here and hit that pause button one more time. And then when I go into reverse, we get even more camera angles. There's your rear view camera, depending on what you need to see as far as that goes. You also have your camera washer, in case you didn't know that was there. The rear view camera washer is also there. That takes you can take advantage of that if you need to, if it's dirty or whatever the situation is. You also have your trajectory lines if you want those on there, or what you want to do with that. You can select right here. You can even get rid of that if you want to, or bring them all back up. Now, our air conditioning controls. I like this, as I mentioned earlier, physical controls. It is dual zone climate control, and then single in the rear. You've got everything for your front and rear window defoggers. Here's where you adjust your fan speed. I don't want to turn that up too high so it messes up our audio. And obviously we're going to have, just like we did in the middle row seats, 3 stages of heated, 3 stages of ventilated. Nice and easy to deal with. We'll work our way down. We're going to have the button to start and stop the engine. There's the button to bring the cameras up, couple of USB ports, and our wireless charging pad. A little bit of space right here if you need to take advantage of that. And then a little bit of space in front of our cup holders. Obviously the cup holders are right there. And our shifter. Pretty easy to deal with. You will bring it over like that. You can go into neutral, pull it back to go into drive, move it forward to go into reverse. Then we hit our park button right there. Power parking brake right here. Brake hold mode if you want to take advantage of that. And also you're going to have your button there for your traction control. And we also have one more mode I didn't tell you about right here. Snow mode. I'm not going to need that anytime soon. I sure hope not. And right here is the center console. A little bit of space in there, actually quite a bit. It's pretty deep in there. And right in the front, right there, hopefully you can see that, is a 12-volt power outlet. We're going to close that up real fast. You're also going to have the ability to use this area as an armrest. Here we go on our test drive with the Grand Highlander Hybrid. It gets down the road nicely, has a nice, comfortable ride quality, and the seats themselves are very comfortable, especially here in the front seat. I feel like I could sit here for a long time and do just fine as far as a long road trip and be nice and comfortable. That's going to help out reducing fatigue, all that good stuff. That's a good thing. And a lot of adjustability built in between the driver's seat and the steering wheel, so everybody can set things up where they're going to be just fine. The gas pedal and the brake pedal seem to be very easy to adjust to and to manage. That's always a good thing and easy to see out of. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to take advantage of the digital rear view mirror, you can do that, or you can just leave it as a conventional mirror. One thing I forgot to mention earlier in the video is the fact that you do have the built-in dash cam. This is a factory feature that comes from Toyota. Nice to have that. That means it will save you a little bit of money because you don't have to buy one for yourself. And real quick here, we're going to do a quick little turnaround. Nice tight turning radius. That's a good thing. Get down the road just a little bit here. Acceleration is definitely not a problem. It's not a hot rod, but it's also not super duper slow. So that's going to be a nice thing when you need it. Very versatile in a lot of different driving environments, whether you're dealing with the hot climate that we normally have here in Northwest Louisiana, or the really cold climates up north and other areas of the country where you're going to deal with a lot of snow and ice. You're going to have the ability to get good traction. You've got that snow mode that I showed you earlier in the video. The technology here is easy to learn. There's plenty of room, especially in these first and second rows, but even in that third row back there, not too bad. As I showed you, those middle seats can be adjusted to make up the difference if needed to help out with increasing leg space or whatever the situation is. But overall, this Grand Highlander Hybrid, the Platinum trim level, offers a lot of great features and functionality. It's not difficult to learn and use. And something else that I like as we come to a stop here, when you come to a stop, you're going to have your front view camera come up and that overhead view, as you can see right there. That's going to have some benefit too. And there it is, the 2026 Toyota Grand Highlander Platinum Hybrid Max. It is worth your consideration. There's a lot going on here. These are kind of hard to get your hands on. So Depending on when you watch this video, if you click on the link down in the description of the video, if it takes you to the Yoakum Toyota website and you still see this Grand Highlander, it's available. If not, if it just goes to a page where you can select whatever you want to as far as vehicles you want to look at, that means it's been sold. So there's that information. Hopefully that helps you out. I'd like to say a special thanks to our friends at Yoakum Toyota for loaning us this Grand Highlander hybrid for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's helpful and we really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now and we'll see you there.